Hi there, I'm Carole Catherine from the Collywobbles Theater Company, and here we are with our second podcast. We have done a couple short little plays written by Eric Alter. The first one is called Catch the Morning, and it features Zach and Kim as Kristen and her dad. Now listen to Catch the Morning. Charleston, South Carolina. Late September 2001, 5 a.m. Moonlight as it glows off the water. And sitting by it is Kristen. She wears a sweatshirt, sweatpants, and is huddled down by a pond. She then stands and throws some rocks into the pond. The moon is bright so her face and body are visible. A moment, and then a small light in the distance, and we hear someone walking. And into view is her dad. He holds a lantern, dressed in a warm sweatshirt and sweats.
Honey? Honey?
Dad?
Honey? What in the world are you doing? It's 5 a.m. It's chilly out.
What are you doing down here?
I could have sworn I heard some creaking steps, and then the back door open.
Sorry, I was trying to be as discreet as possible.
You never were good at sneaking in.
Oh, please, you were always asleep.
Oh, please, you always thought I was asleep.
You mean...
I mean, whenever you become a parent, you don't sleep. I waited till you got home and were safe in bed before I got any shut-eye.
You would think I would know how to sneak out by now.
You're not in high school anymore. No need for sneaking around.
Yeah.
But I will say, I don't think you came to get an early start on the fishing pond. So my curiosity's got the best of me. What are you doing out here, sweetheart?
I couldn't sleep.
Well, I can see that.
No sense in you not sleeping, so why don't you go back to bed?
I'm used to not sleeping.
Mom will probably get up and make us some biscuits or something.
That's what beautiful Southern women do. I'm so glad you've been home this summer. It's been fun.
It has.
You take the girl out of Charleston, but not Charleston out of the girl.
It's nice to be back.
Did you think that throwing stones was going to help you fall asleep?
No, I was just...
School starts day after tomorrow, huh?
Daddy,
Yes, sweetheart.
I came down here because I couldn't sleep. And I've been thinking hard that I'm not sure if I want to go back to school right now.
What?
Daddy, hear me out, okay?
But Kristen.
Daddy, please.
Okay.
All of my life, since I was a little girl, I wanted to be just like you. I wanted to be the best doctor. I wanted to help people. I wanted to rescue people.
I know.
You can't imagine what it was like for me. My father, one of the best doctors in all of Charleston. I was the envy of every little girl in school.
Sweetie.
When I worked for you at the office, when I sat in, when I watched you make kids smile, adults smile, when I watched you talk to people, when you told them nothing was wrong, when you told them it was all going to be okay, you were always right. You never lied. You always told the truth.
Baby, talk to me. Talk to me.
And now I'm 26 years old in my 3rd year of medical school, and I just don't understand the world anymore. Oh, Daddy, I don't understand how it could happen to those people in New York City, those planes, those buildings. How in God's name could it happen? When I was little, I thought you were magical because you always made everyone feel better. And that's how I wanted to make people feel. But now I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know what to do. Oh, Daddy.
Oh, sweetie.
What difference does it make anymore? I don't get it. I work so hard. I study the body. ways to fix it, ways to make it better. But life is so precious. It takes 9 months and perfect conditions to enter the world, but only seconds to exit it. It's not fair.
No, it's not.
And I just don't know if I can do it. And I came down here throwing stones in this pond because you used to tell me that there was magic in the pond. Don't you remember?
I do. When you were a little girl.
When I was 17, I came down here the night before I sent my application out to the University of South Carolina. And I threw stones in, wishing, closing my eyes and wishing. Do you remember what you said about this pond? You said, close your eyes, hold them tight, throw a stone, and wish with all your might.
I do.
And you said, if you're lucky enough to catch the morning, then anything is possible. Don't you remember?
You always had such a good memory.
You told me, Daddy, if I was lucky enough to watch the sunrise and catch the morning, then any dream I wished would come true. I couldn't sleep. I don't know anything anymore. I'm suffering. And I'm out here, Daddy, because I know you wouldn't lie to me. I know if I catch the morning, if I can see the sunrise, watch it as it comes up, then maybe everything would be okay. Oh, Daddy, tell me it's just something you made up when I was a little girl, because I believe in your magic. I believed in all the things you told me.
Shh. Oh, sweetheart. Let me tell you something about the world. In October of 1962, the world, no one knew. No one knew what tomorrow would bring. There was panic, people building shelters. It was the first time that everyone in this country believed civilization could actually end. And I remember the panic and fear in people. Stores were empty, each person glued to their television set, to their radios. I was in my second year of med school, and I just met your mom. Been dating her for about 4 months. She had an innocence like you, smile similar to you. And I wondered why should I bother with studying when with trying to learn about medicine? Because no matter what new modern marvels of science we came up with, it would only be a matter of time before they would find some new way to mess it all up. I remember they had emergency classes on radiation, its effects. We were told to stay close to campus because we might be needed now more than ever. And I became angry and wondered, what had we done? What had we done? And maybe I should just give up, run away with your mother to Canada or something.
Why didn't you?
Because of the people. Because of the people I had met, I had come in contact with in the hospitals, and because of the children. Those children who needed me. Those children who smiled at me when I was just a lost second year going on rounds, following the doctor around with a notebook. Because of the people who needed me.
I don't know.
You don't know now because once again, the world has managed to cause disarray, senseless killings, and you're looking for meaning. And in this madness, you won't find any.
I don't understand.
Neither did I. Sure, our leaders tried to justify the bomb as if having it was the grand protector. But October 1962 passed, and for 13 days, everyone was forced to live in fear and not knowing if tomorrow would come. But it passed, just as so many other things have come and gone. Unfortunately, the world is like a pendulum. One moment, you watch the sunrise, you catch the morning, and it's the most beautiful thing. You can't put it into words. Another, you take a child out of its mother, you deliver life, and that feeling is priceless.
I don't know that yet.
But you will. And on the other end of the pendulum is hate and violence and senseless acts of killing. 19 men hijacking planes, killing themselves along with thousands of others. And you wonder, you question it all.
I do. I don't understand it.
No one does, baby. But usually the pendulum, it's somewhere in the middle, slowly swinging from one side to the next. But you keep on. You fight, because good always wins. Always. And once you don't believe that, then you become lost, and evil takes over. It's like fighting disease. We come up with vaccines, cures, and we think we have won. But then another disease makes its way inside. And we don't give up, do we?
No.
We keep fighting, doing research. It's just what we do. And baby, you're going to be a better doctor than I could ever be.
Look, Daddy, the sun.
That's a good sign.
I never really noticed how beautiful it was.
It is. Now, why don't you go back inside, catch some sleep. When you wake up, we'll take a walk in town and eat lunch, me, you, and Mom.
I'd like that.
And whatever you decide, you know I'll always stand by you.
I've already decided. Good always wins. You coming?
I want to catch the morning a moment more. You go on.
Good night, Daddy.
She kisses him and slowly walks back towards the house until she finally exits. He watches her go, then slowly turns around and watches the sun. He bends down, picks up a stone, looks at it, holds it tight, closes his eyes, and throws it in. His eyes open.
For her. Please. For her.
And the lights fade down slowly. Our second play is by Eric Alter as well. It is called Once a Year, and it features Kim playing Kathy, Pam playing Meryl, and I will play Jillian and do the stage directions. Take a listen to Once a Year. This one is called Once a Year. A woman named Meryl stands. She's in her late 50s. She's holding some type of book and wearing sunglasses. She takes off her sunglasses and looks at her watch and looks around. Finally, she spots Kathy. She too is in her 50s. Kathy too is holding some type of book. Kathy now sees her and they run to each other and embrace.
Oh, Kathy.
Meryl.
They embrace as though they haven't seen one another in a long time.
How are you?
So,
Where's John?
he's going to be a little late.
Oh, that's nice.
Never missed. Last night,
What?
he had some chest pains. Nothing crazy. He thought it was indigestion, but we called the ambulance. They wanted to keep him overnight. I was with him until about 1 o'clock, and then I went home. He was discharged this morning, so he'll be here.
That's good.
Meryl looks around.
It's less and less, I think.
Kathy looks around, looking at her watch,
It's still a bit early.
looking at her watch.
Not that early.
So, how do you feel? I mean, overall, health-wise?
I'm okay. Feeling older every day.
You look great.
Thanks. I just found out that Amber's pregnant.
No, really? How wonderful.
Can I show you?
Of course. Of course.
Meryl takes out her cell phone and begins scrolling through some pictures. After a moment, she has to stop. Kathy notices. She places her hand on Meryl's shoulder.
It's okay.
For a moment, it appears as though Meryl's going to cry, but she regains her composure and goes back to the phone.
Here.
Oh, look at her. She looks beautiful.
They called me to come over. Oh dear, I thought something was wrong. But they sat me down and told me, and I was floored. It was a mixture of emotions. I screamed.
I understand.
I knew you would. But then I just began crying. 1,000 thoughts raced into my mind. I thought of this beautiful baby coming into this world.
Kathy smiles, but then she turns away. She now is the one who is trying to regain her composure.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She puts her hand on her shoulder, turning
No,
around.
no, I'm sorry.
I wanted to tell you in person.
I'm glad you did. Please go on.
They told me if it was a boy, they were going to name him Carl.
Oh, how nice.
And if it was a girl, Carly.
Oh, now that is just lovely.
They stare at one another and they look around.
I drove home and I just pulled over to the side of the road and I began crying uncontrollably. A part of me felt so guilty for being happy. I was so sorry because I began crying in front of them. I was so sorry because all Carl ever wanted was a grandchild.
Kathy grabs her hand and just nods.
Carl and I share that.
I know. I'm sorry.
Checking her watch, then looking around.
Do you see anyone?
I wasn't really looking.
It comes fast, doesn't it?
Very.
Do you still go to the groups?
No, I see Diane here and there. You?
Oh, once in a while I go.
After a moment, Jillian enters wearing a backpack. She's about 40. She just stands off by herself. She looks down at her phone. Then after a moment, she looks up and notices Kathy and Meryl. Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Jillian takes something out of her backpack, a pad and a pencil, and she appears to begin drawing. Kathy and Meryl notice her.
I'm Kathy.
She extends her hand. Oh, hi, I'm Jillian.
And I'm Meryl.
Hi.
I was just saying how the crowds get less and less.
Looking around. Yeah, I've never missed.
Neither have we.
Jillian closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. They watch her. She does this for about 20 seconds. Then she opens her eyes. She notices them looking at her, and they quickly pretend as if they weren't. Oh, sorry.
No need.
Everyone does their own thing here.
I just needed to take a moment, my own moment here, like right here. It can't be a moment anywhere else than here. Does that make any sense?
Perfect sense.
I guess it's my way of saying hello.
We understand.
Jillian goes back to sketching.
You're an artist?
Add struggling to that, but yes,
What do you draw?
anything and everything.
What are you drawing today?
Oh, I just sketch the images here, and then I go home and I paint them.
Oh,
Yeah. Jillian looks at her watch. It'll be soon. Checking her watch.
yes.
Jillian reaches into her bag and she pulls out a small brown paper bag, the one you would pack a small lunch inside. Meryl and Kathy look at her. Oh, this is just in case.
Just in case?
I throw up. When I hear his name, I haven't done it in a few years. My stomach gets all in knots. Jillian begins crying. Meryl and Kathy look at one another for just a second, and then Kathy consoles Jillian. I'm sorry.
Shh. There's no reason to be sorry.
Meryl looks away. She closes her eyes. There's pain in her face. There's anger. Jillian composes herself for a moment. Who did you lose?
My son. He was 31 years old. His name was Brian. He was an amazing young man. Always happy, always smiling.
Kathy takes out her book, and now she opens it and begins showing Jillian pictures.
I try so hard to emulate that in my life, but it can be so hard. I hate this day, but I love it in an odd way, because when I'm here, I feel him with me. I'm not sure if you can understand that.
I do. Who did you lose?
My husband, Carl. He was 46 years old. He was gentle, he was kind, and he was an amazing man.
Meryl opens her book, and now she shows Jillian some pictures.
We met in high school, though we didn't date. We stayed in touch afterwards, and when I graduated college, we ran into one another in the city. And he said to me, I wanted to ask you out in high school, but I was too chicken. Well, I'm not chicken anymore. And that was it. My daughter-in-law is pregnant.
Meryl smiles. It appears as if she will cry, but she doesn't.
I found out I was so mixed in my emotions. Your life becomes a giant roller coaster. One moment, everything is... No, that's not true. It's never okay. No.
She looks up at the sky.
It's never just okay.
She looks back down.
Sometimes yelling works. Sometimes it doesn't.
I'm sorry.
Who did you lose?
My fiance. He was 27 years old. Andrew. He was all about the map. He wanted to be married by 29, first kid by 31, second by 33, partner by 40, retired by 55. And then we were going to sail around the world. We met in college. He was much smarter than me, but he never made me feel like that. I always was his equal. I'm 43 years old. I've never loved like that again. I've dated, been with someone for a few years now. He's a nice man, a very nice man, but he isn't Andrew. You know, we wake up together and he leaves, kisses me goodbye and says, I'll see you later. And I say each day, how do you know? And he can't answer me. See, that's the part that I can't shake, you know? After all this time, that's the part I can't wrap my brain around. Is how does a perfectly healthy 27-year-old man just walk out of your apartment one morning and...
It's answers to things we won't get answers to.
When we met, he introduced himself so formally. Hello, my name is Andrew Robert Trimble. 3 names. His first, middle, and last. He was so proud of that name. His middle name was his great-grandfather's, who fought in World War I. Jillian takes out one picture from her bag and shows it to the women. I don't get to hear his name anymore. Not that way. The only way I hear it is here. I will say, they did a beautiful job here. So, once a year, I come here, taking it all in. Just me. I know his parents come, though I don't speak to them too much anymore, but I come to hear his name, his beautiful name.
It is a beautiful name.
Yes, it is.
What time is it?
8:44.
The moment of silence should begin soon.
then followed by the bagpipes.
The pain never ends. It never gets easier.
For a while, I was getting so angry when I came here, and the numbers seemed to dwindle. But then I realized that everyone grieves in their own way.
They do.
When I leave here, I drive home and I turn on the radio, and there's always a song that reminds me of him. I know it's once a year I come to hear his name, his formal name, but I swear it seems
So long, doesn't it?
it does.
We know.
We do. It's time.
Would you hold my hand when the bagpipes play? I get so weak in the knees when I begin to hear it.
We'll hold your hand all the way through.
Kathy grabs her hand, stands next to her on the left. It's time for the moment of silence.
I know.
The entire time, we'll hold your hand.
You promise you won't let go?
I promise.
Now Meryl grabs her other hand, stands next to her on the right. The three women now stand in solidarity. Each one's face tells a story of pain and courage. They look out into the distance, and after a moment, Jillian takes a deep breath, but we can see Meryl and Kathy's hands get tighter and tighter. Thanks for listening to our 9/11 edition of the Sounds from Collywobbles podcast. We'll see you next time.